This is TechCrunch.
OpenAI hires its first chief economist. I'm Imran Sheikh, and get ready because it's time for your Daily Crunch for Wednesday, starting with 3 big headlines. LinkedIn users on Tuesday began noticing a problem with their follower counts on the platform. They were dropping rapidly and sometimes by many hundreds of users at once. With no official word at the time from LinkedIn, many began speculating that the situation was the result of LinkedIn purging fake accounts from the platform. Some even spoke with authority on the matter, claiming that the problem was due to a decision by the company to clean out fake, inactive, or duplicate accounts. Others leveraged the opportunity to pitch their expertise in being able to help LinkedIn members from having their accounts banned. Still more questioned what they may have done wrong to see their accounts lose so much traction in such a short period of time. Though the general consensus was that this was a purge enacted by LinkedIn, the company announced later in the day that it had looked into the issue and has now resolved the problem. It did not offer an explanation as to the cause. Reached for comment, the company simply pointed us to its status page, where it documented on Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time that some members had been experiencing issues with their follower and connection count on LinkedIn, which it was still investigating later in the day. LinkedIn marked the problem as resolved Tuesday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Users' idea that the issue was driven by a purge wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. X has repeatedly run purges to remove spammers, bots, and inactive accounts from its platform, as do other social networks. Spotify is rolling out the ability for users to design and customize their own playlist cover art, the company announced on Tuesday. While users have already been able to upload a custom image for a playlist, this new feature lets you design your own cover art right in the app. The feature is rolling out in 65 markets in beta on the Spotify mobile app on iOS and Android. It's available to both free and premium users. To access the feature, select one of your playlists you want to create custom art for. Then, tap the 3-dot menu on the playlist page and click the Create Cover Art option. From there, you can upload a photo from your camera roll or start with a blank canvas, and then play around with several different elements such as text styles, colors, and effects. You can also change background colors and add gradients. Plus, you can add stickers. Spotify notes that you can only save one custom cover art per playlist at a time, which means that when you create a new one, it will automatically replace the previous one for that specific playlist. If you want to make more than one cover art for a playlist, you need to save it before making another one. Now, while the ability to create custom cover art isn't a significant addition to the streaming service, it's a fun one. It also showcases Spotify's continuous efforts to give users more ways to personalize their experience on the app. The launch of the new feature comes as Spotify has been rolling out additions to its app as it continues to compete with services like Apple Music and YouTube Music. OpenAI has hired its first chief economist, Arun Chatterjee, formerly the chief economist at the Commerce Department under President Joe Biden and a senior economist in President Barack Obama's Council of Economic Advisors. Chatterjee, who's also a professor of business and public policy at Duke, will study AI's economic impacts at OpenAI, leading research into how AI might influence economic growth and job prospects. Notably, Chatterjee helped to coordinate the Biden administration's implementation of the 2022 CHIPS Act, which authorized roughly $280 billion in funding for the development of computer chips in the U.S. His understanding of the project and political connections could help OpenAI as it undertakes chip design efforts of its own. Chatterjee wasn't OpenAI's only high-profile hire today. The company also appointed Scott Schools, former Associate Deputy Attorney General and Uber's compliance head, as its new Chief Compliance Officer. He'll work with OpenAI's board and teams across the company on legal requirements and ethics, OpenAI said. Let's now kick it over to producer Dennis with today's startup business news in about 1 minute.
Imran, thank you. And first up, it's Paccurate. Paccurate is a software that helps parcel shippers determine the most cost-effective and sustainable way to ship the items they need to, a process known as cartonization, by taking factors such as size, weight, and packaging requirements into account. Brands can also use Paccurate's API to build systems themselves. Paccurate recently raised an $8.1 million Series A round. And a 2024 report found that over half of organizations have experienced a software supply chain attack. These attacks could cost the economy almost $81 billion in lost revenue and damages by 2026. Socket, a startup that provides tools to detect security vulnerabilities in open source code, has raised over $40 million to help address this problem. Socket's solution is a scanner that looks for malicious activity like backdoors and obfuscated codes in open source components and alert developers when dependencies and packages are updated or added. And that'll do it for me. Imran, back to you.
And that's your Daily Crunch. Today's stories were reported by Aisha Malik, Sarah Perez, Kyle Wiggers, and more beautiful, lovely TechCrunch journalists. We'll see you here tomorrow. Same tech time, same Crunch channel. And until then, find us at TechCrunch.com.